Okay, so I'm driving this Toyota Camry and the left front bearing is making a humming sound. I don't know if my camera can pick up, so it's going woof, 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 woof. Okay, so as faster I get, the louder I get. So we're gonna tackle this job on replacing the left front bearing, which is the driver's side front. Okay guys, so I got the car in the lift. First thing first, I want to spray some WD-40 here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the rotor, we're gonna take out the brake pads and everything gotta go. We're gonna take off these bolts here. First thing I'd like to do is I'd like to take off this bolt here and then try to push the axle through. Sometimes the axle will not come out, it will not budge, then the whole spindle gotta go because I don't like to go bananas with it. Anyways, that's your start. You guys gonna see me do that. Take off these three, take out the cotter pin, remove that bolt, take off this little guy, and you can put that gun on that once you get your axle out of the way. And you would have to take these off, leave the linkage alone, take off, we're gonna disconnect the ABS sensor. Either we'll take it off from right here. If it comes out, if it doesn't come out from here, we're gonna have to track the harness down and bring it out with the car or the hub itself. Anyways, take off this tent, push it out of the way. Let's start this job immediately. Okay, like I said, to start, we're gonna remove this little guy. What we're gonna do here is, okay, even if you want to come out a little bit and then try to push the axle, you see how the axle moves? Sometimes the axle will not move, it's jammed, seized, it's not going anywhere, guys. So that means you need to put a stop to this job and replace the whole spindle with it. And anyways, this is, just to let you guys know, 30mm 12-point socket right here. I'm trying to hold the axle so nothing moves. There you go, rest it out. Ooh, yeah, baby. It's out. Don't touch that bolt. It's hot. Don't even touch that. Anyways, that's done. We don't need our impact gun for a little bit. Let's start moving the rotors. Brakes and motors. Okay, so if you left your key in the ignition, you can't do this, or start with removing the tie rod first. That way you have more room for these bolts. Okay, to start off, what we're gonna do here is, let's get another light. That way we all can see it like it's a 4K video. There you go. And we're gonna take off this 12mm right here. That's gonna allow us to have free play in this brake and the ABS. Now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take off this 14mm. Don't worry about the top one, we can just slide the pins out. And once this is out, we should be able to slide out this slider pin. I usually use a hook. Where's my hook? I don't know where my hook goes, but we're gonna make one right now with this brake line. And what you do is you just bend it, fold it, whatever you want to do, is stick it right through one of the holes and let this baby hang right here. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna get 17mm and remove both of these for the bracket. This is where I'm gonna use my impact gun, so it's much easier. And what I'll do is, just by looking back here, 1 and a 2. Once that out, your bracket and the rotor is gonna start to move out. Unless your rotor is seized in, this whole thing's gonna come out. Just put it to the side. Rotor might be hot, so be careful. If your brakes look crappy and they're due almost, it's the best time to replace it now. Okay, look how empty that guy looks. Anyways, while we at it, we're gonna remove 1, 2. These are probably 22 or 24. Okay, let's not do that because we're gonna be hammering a bit. So let's go on the opposite side. We're gonna bring this spindle back. Like I said originally, if you guys want it, take off this tie rod. That'd be the best thing you can do in the beginning. And let's put our camera right here. So first, you need to take out this cotter pin so you can grab this guy and straighten it up. Okay, sometimes even cut it off a bit. And then from the other side, the side that's closed from, I usually yank it out just like that. Cotter pin. If you want to put a new one, put a new one. So this looks like a 17 millimeter. Let's. Oops. It is. Whoa, easy. That's that. Gonna go get a hammer and tap this baby. So you can never hit over here. You will damage that tie rod threads. It will never go back in. Use a fork. They do sell like a little clap-on tool that pushes it off. But I like to go old school. I'm gonna come back with the camera so I have more space in the back to sit and bang this baby out. So what I have to do is bang, bang, bang. See that? Pops right up. Pops right up. Come on. There you go. Too much load on the strut. That baby's out of the way. Okay. Alright, so that's out of the way. I'm not liking how this strut is. What I want to do next is, I definitely don't like this at all. So we got an issue here, a big issue. See this, it's not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to be like that. Something is out of whack here. Probably. Anyways, we're gonna finish out the job we started. So right back over here, we do have our ABS sensor, if you can see it. Right there, it's a 10 millimeter. So what I'll do is, instead of a drill, since I got the camera on the way, I'm gonna take off that 10 millimeter and hopefully this guy, the sensor, the bolt will come off, but hopefully the sensor, okay, there you go, good. Sensor comes out. Usually I know Hondas, they seize up, but there you go. Sensor has a whole bunch of crap on it. We'll clean that and put it back in. So save that bolt, very important. Okay, let's put this baby to the side. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna remove the strut bolts. Okay, our next step is to remove both bolts at 22s. Okay, I got that on the wrong way. The opposite side will spin, so get adjustable wrench or another 22. Put that on, lock that baby up. Okay, come on, what is going on here? It's going off. 1, 2, 1 and 2. Okay. This bolt should come out pretty easy. 1. Okay. See if I get the second one out. Probably gonna have to wiggle it, lift it up, and push it out. Ah, come on. Gonna get a rubber mallet. Okay, a rubber mallet, you don't want to hit nothing else there. You'll damage the threads again, like I was explaining on the tie rod. Okay, what the hell? That strut is putting too much load on this guy. You can also put it something back here, like a flathead screwdriver or a Phillips head screwdriver, and bang it out of there. But it's not supposed to be like that, so it's pushing up. Okay, should I push down? Anyways, you see that? That's normal for the control arm to push up. Anyways, we need to take off the 3 bolts in the bottom here. Okay, so I'm gonna get my impact gun here, and we're gonna bang out the 3 bolts in the bottom from the ball joint. So what you want to do here is, I already pulled out the axle. 1, 2, and 3. Don't worry, it's not gonna hit you in the face, fall out. Just put your hand on it, and let me get these bolts off completely. It's still gonna sit on those studs, even if you remove it completely. There you go. And now we're gonna go back up, so I'm gonna just let it go just like that. Okay, now, yeah, bearing is definitely bad, but this guy should just lift up. You probably have to straighten it up and just go up, and the spindle and everything come out. We're gonna replace the bearing next. Okay, I got so much crap all around over here, but anyways, you see this slot? This is the slot for the ABS sensor. So there's a small little cover here. We're gonna remove this guy. Sometimes it will get bent, so just hammer it with a mallet, rubber mallet, straighten it up. But this cover will come off. This little guy, whatever you want to call it. Now in here, we got a retainer. Okay, you have a C-ring retainer. So what you want to do is clean it up a bit. Clean up all that dirt and debris. If you want to throw some WD-40, if not, it's all right. Anyways, time for us to remove that guy. Okay, I went and got a retainer ring remover, snap plier. Okay, I got me a little flathead screwdriver as well. So what I want to do here is we're gonna have to reverse this. Since this is opening, we gotta close. Okay, so we're gonna have to reverse this guy from here to here. Okay, now we can squeeze. Instead of when we squeeze, it opens. Okay, so we're gonna get this. There's a small little slots. Okay, hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. There's just small little spots where it goes on to. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get a retainer. Sometimes I don't even use this stuff. I do it by hand with the plier, with the flathead screwdriver. A pick and a flathead screwdriver works pretty good. So even this guy is not gonna come out for me. You see how I grabbed it? If I had another plier, I would go underneath it and lift it up. So let me give it another try. Another try here. I'm sorry, it's not the best. It's not the best, but it's time to get this bearing retainer out of here. Yeah, got it. You see that? You lift it up. You lift it up. Then I just go all around, just like that. Put your hand on it so it doesn't hit you in the face. And here's your retainer. Clean this baby up really nice before you put it in. We need to push that hub out, okay? So that's one thing. So to remove that guy, I have my just like that. And I like to put a socket that fits flush with. Let me get another socket. I'll be right back. Here's another socket. It's just a little fatter. Anyways, this little guy's not. So let's get that out of the way. Anyways, I'm gonna sit this guy right here. I like to put this baby right here. Be careful you don't hurt your eyes or anything like that. Put this on the compression machine. Do so. But back since you're replacing both, it's okay. It's gonna take damage. And it's going already. Look. It's already going. It's going. So it's fine. There's our hub. Time for us to go to the compress machine. Okay, boys. The bearing has to go backward since the retainer ring was on the back side. So you can take off your hub and take it to your local mechanic shop or your local Pep Boys or AutoZone they can do this hard work for you because you're not going to be able to do this without this compressor. And there goes the bearing. Here it comes. You know what? Let's take it. Let's take a look. Okay, everything's just gonna fall once. So the bearing is in there. It's coming down. It's gonna fall. Once it comes apart, it's just gonna fall. So let's just stand back a bit. Ready to go. See that? It's ready to come down. So this be the process for any Toyota, Camrys, even the Hondas. That's how the bearing comes down. Anyways, I'm gonna mount the camera back. Okay, just be safe if you're doing this. If you have the machine, this machine is about like $300 to $400. I'm not even sure how much it cost me when I bought it. There you go. Don't put your hands down below it. You don't want none of that stuff. Anyways, let the machine go up. So the new bearing has to go in, but make sure you clean it really good and put some lubrication on it. I'm sure you guys can't see this well, but I'm gonna use some WD-40. Clean this up really well. You don't have to file in none of that stuff. Not even sandpaper. If you want to clean it, it's up to you. With the sandpaper, that's fine, but you do need to clean it. That's not up to you. You gotta clean it. Anyways, once it's nice and clean, take a little bit of greasing, and since it's a hot temp, we're in good hands. Just put it all around and put a little bit on the bearing, and I'm gonna wait for the bearing, and we're gonna compress it together. So still waiting for the bearing to come in. So the intake is looking good. Okay guys, so we got ourselves a bearing. I'm going to show you guys the part number, and it comes together as a spindle, as a hub and a bearing. So bearing sits on it flush. Make sure it's nice and flush. So what I like to do here is I'm going to raise it up more so it's more close to this and align it right under. I got some adapters here. A lot of people said don't put this in the center, but I never had an issue. There's no other way of doing this, guys. This is the way. And there's nothing that you're gonna get perfectly the same size of this bearing, because it will go down and it will get stuck into the spindle. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna compress this baby right now. Make sure it sits nice and straight. Once it starts to go down, it's going to be real easy to compress this guy. Everything wants to fall here, so we'll just get this stuff out of the way. Once it stops, that's it. You don't want to force it too much, and the bearing is in. Now I gotta put the retainer in. Okay, so do not forget to put this retainer, because if you do forget, everything's gonna come apart. So I like to push this baby. You could get this angle anywhere, it doesn't matter. So now what you want to do is, you can even push it with a flathead screwdriver, or take your retainer snap ring plier and you can squeeze this guy and get it to the spot. Just make sure you don't hit yourself in the face with it. Okay, snap on, but it sucks. I'd rather go buy a cheap one. freaking all over. Ah, shoot. Shit got a big mouth and you need a fucking big plier, but these fucking guys charge a lot of money and give you crap. Okay. Fuck you. This is how a real fucking mechanic does it. It's gonna take time, but you're gonna get it done. Once it's in, just tap it with your hammer. Make sure you don't miss it. Make sure you don't break that bearing. There you go. Snap rings in. Make sure it's nice and clean. I'll give it a last final touch once we put the hub in. So there's the bearing. 2013 Camry. I don't know if I mentioned 15, but there's the part number for this guy. So it's gonna come as a kit. Everything for like 120 bucks or cheaper. Just shop around. But there it is. We're gonna put this baby in. Put a little bit of greasing here. What you want to do is when you're pushing this in, make sure you have something sitting flush against it, because once it goes through, it will break the bearing apart and you don't want that. Okay, now we got this completely flush. I do have something sitting right in the center of this bearing so it doesn't break, and all we need to do is take this little guy, make sure this guy is centered out. So once I go halfway, I might put something in between so there's enough space. I mean, there's no clearance. This compressor is not gonna go all the way down. Straighten it up a bit. There you go. Right in the center. Sometimes it'll be a little crooked, but then it'll straighten itself out. But if it's not going straight, most likely will break your bearing, but it should go in smooth, just like that. There you go. So I didn't even have to put nothing in between. The machine itself was it was able to go deep enough, and that's it. The bearing is installed, so everything is a reverse procedure from here. Let me just show you guys what I did in the bottom. So I put this in the center so the bearing doesn't break out. Okay, if you don't put this, you're gonna break the outer race, inner race, and that's it. The bearing is done. Okay, so next step here, do not forget to put this little guy, clean it as much as you can. It doesn't have to be super duper clean that you're gonna eat off it, but okay, I'm gonna do as best I can here with this little guy. There you go. So I'm gonna clean this guy and we're gonna hammer this on with the mallet. Okay, so we're gonna put this guy in. Make sure you line the hole here so your sensor can go right through. And where did I put my rubber mallet? I just brung it over here and I lost it just like that. Oh, here it is. So hold it and just tap it. Sometime while you're tapping, everything will move, so just go back around, back and forth, small taps all around, and take your time with this guy. Okay, everything is off. Sometimes your hole will move as well. So make sure you put that hole right back to where it belongs. Sometimes it will take its time to get the baby in, but once it starts to go in, that's it. Make sure it's nice and flush all around, so it's not gonna rub against the axle. Okay, it's done. Time to put this baby back in. Okay, now time to put our bolts back in. So make sure the surface here is nice and clean. What we're gonna do here is, you can even put the axle in right now, lift it up, and once you get the 2 bolts in there, okay, there you go. And we can even at the same time, let's put the nuts in so nothing moves in the bottom. So from here on, guys, everything is a reverse procedure. Make sure you put everything back together. You might not see my video go any further than this, but once it's all done, reverse procedure, everything's in, you're all done and set. Anyways, thank you for watching, and that's how you're gonna install a new bearing on your Toyota Camry. Doesn't matter what year it is, if it's a compressed bearing, procedure is similar and same. Thank you for watching again. So you guys gonna see a video of me being angry. Ended up putting another axle, new axle. Make sure this is tight, make sure the strut is tight, make sure your ball joint bolts are tight, make sure your tie rod is tight, make sure you put the cotter pin in. That's the last thing I got left to do there. And I'm gonna lock that baby up, and make sure your brake pads, the bracket bolts are tight, 17 and another 17 in the bottom. This one, and this one, whatever you took off, make sure everything is nice and tight. Make sure your ABS sensor is in there, nice and tight. Take it for test drive, and the parts, try to find your own pieces, but shoot, that spindle did not work out. I mean the hub did not work out. Axle didn't go through. I tried to gun it with the impact gun, it broke everything. Anyway, that's what that was.